Imagine a world changed overnight, not by the usual forces we expect. No sudden wars, no natural disasters, no breaking news that flashes across every screen. Instead, picture a transformation that sweeps quietly, almost invisibly, through the fabric of our daily lives. It starts in the glow of a screen, in the hush of late-night curiosity, in the hands of people who never expected to witness history. The world, as we knew it, was about to be rewritten, not with violence or chaos, but with something far more subtle and profound: words. Not by war or disaster, but by words. Words that could answer, explain, create, and even comfort. Words that didn't just sit on a page, but reached out and spoke back. For centuries, we've dreamed of machines that could think, that could understand us, that could bridge the gap between human imagination and digital possibility. Suddenly, that dream was no longer science fiction. It was here, alive and speaking. That's what ChatGPT felt like. It was as if a light had flickered on in the digital dark, revealing a new kind of intelligence. People everywhere found themselves drawn to their screens, not just to consume information, but to have conversations. Real, flowing, unpredictable conversations with a machine that seemed to understand. Overnight, millions of people, from students to scientists, writers to wanderers, discovered a companion in their devices. It didn't matter if you were in a bustling city or a quiet village. Suddenly you could ask questions, seek advice, or just share a joke with something that listened and responded in kind. One day, a quiet project. The next, bam! The world's mind blown wide open. The ripple was instant and unstoppable. Social media buzzed with screenshots of conversations. News outlets scrambled to explain what was happening, and water cooler talk everywhere shifted to this new phenomenon. It was as if the world had discovered a new language overnight, a language that everyone could speak, and everyone wanted to try. Why? Because a machine was talking back, and I don't mean just beeps and boops. This wasn't the cold, mechanical voice of old computers. This was something that could tell a story, solve a riddle, or help you write a letter to a friend. It was as if the internet itself had found a voice, and it was eager to talk. I'm talking poems, code, scripts, even jokes. People tested its limits, asking for everything from Shakespearean sonnets to computer code, from bedtime stories to business emails. And ChatGPT delivered, often with a wit and creativity that left users stunned. It was a tool, a toy, a teacher, and a friend, all rolled into one. This wasn't some Hollywood magic trick, this was real. Behind the scenes, teams of engineers and researchers had spent years building, training, and refining this technology. Their work had finally paid off, and the world was witnessing the result. A machine that could not only process information, but communicate, collaborate, and even surprise us. This was AI, but not like we'd seen before. This was different. This was ChatGPT. It was the spark that lit up the digital dark, and nothing would ever be the same again. Now let's take a step back in time. Imagine the world in 2015, a time when artificial intelligence was still mostly the stuff of science fiction, and the idea of machines that could truly think for themselves seemed like a distant dream. But in the midst of this uncertainty, a handful of visionaries were already looking far ahead, seeing both the promise and the peril that AI could bring. Back in 2015, a group of tech heavyweights, including Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, Ilya Sutskever, and several other pioneers, gathered with a bold and, some might say, audacious idea. They weren't just interested in building smarter computers or creating the next big tech product. Instead, they were driven by a shared belief that artificial intelligence would soon become one of the most powerful forces shaping our world, and that its direction needed careful guidance. These founders saw the incredible potential of artificial intelligence to transform industries, revolutionize science, and improve lives. But they also recognized the risks that ranged from job displacement and economic upheaval to the possibility of AI systems acting in ways that could harm humanity. They understood that, left unchecked, the race to develop ever more powerful AI could lead to unintended consequences, and that the world needed a new kind of organization to steer this technology toward positive outcomes. Their solution was to create OpenAI, a company with a unique mission. Unlike traditional tech startups focused on profit, OpenAI was founded as a non-profit research lab, dedicated to ensuring that artificial intelligence would be developed safely, transparently, and for the benefit of everyone, not just a privileged few. They set out to build a community of researchers, engineers, and thinkers who would collaborate openly, share their findings, and put the greater good above all else. Their mission was clear and ambitious: to ensure that artificial general intelligence, AI systems that can perform any intellectual task a human can, would benefit all of humanity. They wanted to make sure that as AI grew more powerful, it would be used to solve the world's toughest challenges, from fighting climate change and eradicating diseases, to making education and healthcare accessible to everyone, everywhere. The team at OpenAI wasn't just building machines, they were building the future. They envisioned a world where AI could help us tackle our biggest problems, from reversing environmental damage to discovering new cures for diseases. Their work was about more than technology. It was about hope, responsibility, and the belief that, with the right guidance, AI could be a force for good in the world. But before they could change the world, they faced a monumental challenge. They needed to teach a machine to think, to learn, and to understand. This was the first step on a journey that would redefine what's possible, not just for technology, but for humanity itself. Enter GPT, or Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Imagine a digital brain learning to read and write by devouring the entire internet. GPT-1 was the first step, then came GPT-2, each version smarter, smoother, more human-like. Then came the game-changer GPT-3. This wasn't just evolution, it was a revolution. GPT-3 could generate human-quality text on demand, write you a song, done. Draft a legal contract, easy. GPT-3 was a glimpse into the future, and it was mind-blowing. But GPT-3 was just the engine. It needed a chassis, a steering wheel, a way for us mere mortals to interact with this digital beast. Enter ChatGPT, launched in November 2022. It was supposed to be a quiet release, a beta test. But the internet had other plans. Within days, ChatGPT was everywhere. People were using it for everything, writing emails, composing music, even generating code. The world had never seen anything like it. ChatGPT became a viral sensation. Millions of users flocked to try it, pushing its servers to the limit. News outlets couldn't get enough, with headlines screaming about the AI revolution. Schools were buzzing with students using it for homework. Don't tell your teachers. Businesses were exploring its potential for marketing and customer service. The world was changing, and ChatGPT was at the wheel. But not everyone was thrilled. Teachers everywhere worried about cheating. Writers saw their jobs threatened by this new technology. Tech giants like Google scrambled to catch up, fearing they'd missed the AI boat entirely. Was this the beginning of the robot takeover, people wondered? Would AI steal our jobs, our creativity, or even our very humanity? The future suddenly felt uncertain, exciting, and, well, terrifying all at once for everyone. But amidst the fear, something amazing was happening. Doctors were using ChatGPT to analyze medical records and diagnose diseases faster. Marketers were crafting personalized campaigns that resonated with customers like never before. Even artists were collaborating with ChatGPT, using it to generate new ideas and push creative boundaries. The line between human and machine was blurring, and the possibilities seemed endless. So how does this thing work? To understand the mind of a machine, picture yourself walking into a vast, endless library. But this isn't just any library. It's alive with information, constantly shifting and updating. Imagine shelves that stretch beyond sight, each one packed with books, articles, and data from every corner of human knowledge. Now, overlay this with a digital network, where streams of data zip between the shelves, connecting ideas, facts, and concepts in real time. This is the world inside a machine like ChatGPT, a place where information is not just stored but actively analyzed, categorized, and reassembled by a super-fast digital brain. Every second, this brain is scanning, sorting, and making sense of the endless flow of data, searching for patterns and connections that even the most dedicated human librarian could never hope to find. But here's the twist. ChatGPT doesn't think like we do. It doesn't have feelings, beliefs, or personal experiences. Instead, it relies on incredibly complex algorithms and statistical models. These models are like intricate maps built from billions of examples that help the machine predict what comes next in a conversation. When you ask a question or type a sentence, ChatGPT rapidly sifts through its vast library, using probability to guess the most likely word, sentence, or even paragraph that should follow. It's not recalling memories or forming opinions. It's calculating at lightning speed the best possible response based on the patterns it's seen in the data it was trained on. This process is invisible to us, but it's what allows the machine to generate answers that can feel surprisingly natural, even though it's just following mathematical rules. What's truly remarkable is that this machine is always learning. With every interaction, every question you ask, every answer it gives, it's gathering new information, refining its understanding, and adjusting its responses. This process, called machine learning, allows ChatGPT to become smarter, more nuanced, and more human-like over time. It learns from the feedback it receives, picking up on subtle cues in language, tone, and context. The more it interacts, the better it gets at understanding what people want, and the more natural its conversations become. But even as it grows more sophisticated, it never truly understands in the way a person does. It's always processing, always adapting, but always within the boundaries set by its programming and the data it's been given. At the end of the day, it's important to remember that ChatGPT is still just a machine, a powerful tool, but a tool nonetheless. It doesn't have desires or intentions of its own. How it's used and the impact it has depends entirely on the people who interact with it. In the right hands, it can be a force for good, helping us solve problems, learn new things, and connect with each other in ways we never imagined. But like any tool, it can also be misused, spreading misinformation or amplifying harmful ideas if we're not careful. The mind of a machine is a marvel of modern technology, but it's up to us to guide it wisely, using its power to build a better future for everyone. And that's the big question, isn't it? What happens when we create something so powerful, so potentially disruptive? What about bias, misinformation? The potential for misuse is real, and OpenAI knows it. They've implemented safety measures, ethical guidelines, and are constantly working to mitigate the risks. It's a tightrope walk, balancing innovation with responsibility, pushing the boundaries while ensuring AI remains a force for good. The future is here, and it's powered by AI. ChatGPT is just the beginning. GPT-4 is already here, more powerful, more nuanced, more human-like than ever before. Who knows what the future holds? Will AI be our partner, our collaborator, our muse? Or will it be our competitor, our replacement, our downfall? The answer, my friends, is up to us. The future is unwritten, and the pen, it seems, is now in the hands of the machines.